Okay, so we've had a brand new set of Icon Swaps Online and Icon Swaps Single Player seasonal objectives released. I'm going to tell you guys the easiest way to get them. For cheap, fast and reliable FIFA 20 Ultimate Team coins, check out u7buy.com and use code HABER to get yourself 5% off all of your orders. Okay, so on the off chance you've been living under a rock and you don't know what Icon Swaps is, EA released a really cool promo actually called Icon Swaps. Essentially, it works how foot swaps worked last year. You have the opportunity to achieve 24 tokens in I want to say it's like a 50-day period, a 40-day period, something like that. Basically, you have quite a long time, actually, to achieve 24 Icon Swap tokens. We had 12 in the last batch and 12 in the new batch. You can achieve them via a number of different online and offline weekly or seasonal objectives. And you can then redeem those tokens in the squad building challenges section, kind of speak, the SBC section for certain icon swaps. So, for example, Guardiola for 8 tokens, Roberto Carlos for 11 tokens, Hernan Crespo for 12 tokens, Peter Schmeichel for 6 tokens, and so on and so forth. There is a bunch of different icon swap tokens available and a bunch of different icons swaps available, all the way up until 24 tokens, which is, of course, the main man himself, Didier Drogba, for 23 tokens, and it doesn't get any better than that. So you can miss out on one token only in the 24 available and get yourself a Didier Drogba. So there's a bunch of different really cool icons available for absolutely free. You don't have to pay a dime to get these, which is really cool. So that's pretty much what Icon Swaps is. And let's talk about the actual 12 tokens that EA have released today and the easiest way to get them. So we've got the European Cup, Samba Squad, One Club Wanderers, Premier League, Ligue 1, Serie A, La Liga and Bundesliga online objectives. Now, in total, the total amount of games or total amount of wins it says you need here is 34 online wins. If you were to win every single game here and you did them all individually, it'd take you 34 games and 34 wins to get all of these 8 icon swaps. Now, a few of them can be done in conjunction. So, for example, you could do the Win 5 Rivals using 11 UCL players in conjunction with using 11 Brazilian players in your squad. You could use Brazilian versions, UCL version of Brazilian players in your squad. You do that in 5 games, you tick off 2 really easily. Or if you are lucky enough to have a lot of packs, or you've packed a lot of packs, you've opened a lot of UCL packs, you might be able to do the 11 UCL players in conjunction with the Premier League 7 first own players, or the Ligue 1 7 first own players, so on and so forth. Any league according that you are lucky enough to have the first owner players for, if they're UCL versions, you can do them in conjunction with that. So then, the 5 wins you need for the 11 UCL players, you can actually tick off, for example, the Premier League at the same time. Now, you could really do it in a very fast manner if you are lucky enough, and this is like 1 in 1,000 kind of thing. This is like, you have to be ridiculously lucky to have 11 UCL players, 7 of which being first owned, and all 7 of those being from one of these leagues, and all 7 of those being Brazilian. Now, I think it is possible. However, it's, pretty few and far between to have that. I don't think that's possible, but if you do, just check your club to see what you have. I think that you can do the 7 first own and Brazilian at the same time quite easily with Premier League. Players like Willian, Gabriel Jesus, to name a couple, Fernandinho if you're lucky. There's a few players in there. I think you could probably get that one done, or you could probably do it with a Liga or Bundesliga. You just need to check your clubs, really. Remember that it's first owner players, so it's players that have been pack pulled or pulled via an SBC. They count as first owner players. So that is a first owner player. You can check just on the menus. So what I would do if I were you is check your UCL players, see if you can get them in conjunction with the Brazilians. Now, if not, you can go out and buy them. It is going to cost you a little bit of coins to buy Brazilian UCL players, given that these 2 can cross over quite easily. I think that a lot of people will be price fixing or selling their Brazilian UCL players for a little bit more than what they usually go for this exact reason. So if I were you, what I'd do is I'd probably, I don't know, maybe wait a little bit before, so the hype dies down, to buy some Brazilian UCL players, but these shouldn't be too difficult. If you are in a higher division, obviously you are going to lose a few more games because your team will be significantly worse than your opponents, but that's just sort of how it goes. Now, in terms of One Club Wonders, it's win 4 rivals matches using 11 first owner players in your starting squad. I know for a fact I could have a full first owner Premier League, Liga, Serie A, La Liga and Bundesliga team just from the untradeable rival rewards I take every single week. So if I were you, I'd take untradeable rival rewards, and I would go with 11 first-owner players from each of these leagues. Now, you'll find you tick this one off pretty easily, pretty quickly, and then you've ticked off one of these as well. It's only taken you 4 games to tick off 2 of these. So realistically, you've cut out 9 games already from this. So if you do the Samba Cup and European squad together, and then you do One Club Wonders and Premier League together, for example, you've gone and got yourself 4 tokens in the space of 9 games, as opposed to getting 4 tokens in the space of 18 games. So you've done really well there. And then you've only got the 4 7 first owner players left to do in rivals. These can be done in a day, honestly. It is a grind. It is an absolute grind. And if you're not quite pack heavy, you don't open a lot of packs. I mean, you could buy plays and do, for example, gold upgrade packs. That will save you actual real life money, or you could go and buy packs. Either way, EA want you to open some form of pack. That is the goal here. So what I would do if I were you is probably go down the gold upgrade route. If you don't have a whole lot of players in the club that are first owner, I think you'll find it a lot easier to go down the gold upgrade first owner route as opposed to opening packs, because no one really wants to spend money in this game. Realistically, they don't really want to spend money on this game. I know for a fact though, from weekly rewards and squad battle rewards and things like that, I definitely have a first owner team for all of these that would be I want to say fairly competitive in rivals. Like, I'm in Div 4, but if I drop down to like Div 6, I think it'd probably be a lot easier. A lot of people will be doing that as well. You'll find a lot of people in Div 1 and 2 will drop down to Div 5 and 6 in the space of today, just because they want to get this done quite quickly. If I were you, I would just probably hold off a couple of days and then play rivals, because a lot of people will be in the hype trying to get their free icons, their high tier icons. They'll drop down to lower divisions literally today just to do it. So I wouldn't relegate yourself, or I wouldn't try and do this straight away if I were you. I would probably hold on for a little bit. But like I said, you can get these done in conjunction with each other quite easily. The best thing to do is just check your club. It'll be different for everyone, but just check your club to see what you have. In terms of the offline ones, they're actually a little bit harder in my opinion. So we've got the win 6 squad battles matches with world class difficulty using 11 Liga BBVA MX players. So that's the Mexican league. Now obviously it's not first owned, you can go out and buy them, so that makes life a whole lot easier. In my opinion, world class difficulty is actually, it's not horrendously difficult, but it is pretty difficult if you ask me, especially if you're using a lower squad, for example, a full BBVA MX squad. You're going to have to use 1 or 2 silvers in that squad. It's going to be quite difficult. Same with Liga NOS, same with Super League. What I would do if I were you is understand you can have 3 subs, pick your 3 best players in your whole club, maybe their loans, and sub them on for these games. Remember, it's 6 games per, so and 5 games for the championship, which we'll talk about in a little minute. So 6 games per, that's 18 games. You cannot skip these. You cannot do them in conjunction with each other. That is a minimum 18 games. In total, 23 offline games you have to play in squad battles to get this done. Now, again, you can do this in the matter of a couple of days. Thanks to EA's new system, you can actually refresh whenever you want. You don't have to wait for refreshes. So if you're looking to play the lower of the lower squads, the bronze squad, the silver squads, for example, in squad battles, you can actually do those in a couple of days. You don't have to wait for the refreshes like you did back in FIFA, I want to say FIFA 19. But just try and pick the strongest players in each club. Like, I would go and do this Corona SBC if I were you. Get yourself Corona for the Liga NOS. That'll help you out a lot. In terms of Super League, I know there's a few decent Super League players out there, so just try and pick those up. And as an informed Vida, he'll be great in the defense for you. And remember, you are allowed 3 subs, so just pick your 3 strongest players. Now, this one's a hard one. I feel like EA have put this one here on purpose for the people that are going for Drogba. If they've already missed a token, they have to get this one done. Now, this one's going to be borderline impossible for a lot of the lower tier players. Now, I know there's videos on YouTube, how to beat legendary squad battles. Check those out. They might help you out. In my opinion, I don't find them that useful sometimes. Sometimes I do. I think the Panthers is pretty good at explaining how to beat high-tier squad battle teams. So I'd check out videos that he's made on it. But in my opinion, this one's going to be incredibly difficult, especially with using a full 11 EFL Championship player, because not only is it going to skyrocket the better gold players in there, you are going to need to use bronze players. You are going to need to use silver players. Some people will use bronze players as well to save coins, to save time, whatever your motive is to use bronze players. It will be incredibly difficult. Now, of course, you do have the 3 subs, your 3 best players, but that won't help a whole lot if most of your team is silver or low tier gold against legendary. You are going to have to use your bronze teams in squad battles I want to say, what's the word I'm looking for? Just be smart with it, really. The 40 rated 50 chemistry teams, use it for this objective. Don't use it for the Super League, Liga Nossa, BBVA MX. Use it for the championship team, because this one is by far the hardest in my opinion, and I think a lot of people are going to struggle with that. Now, in terms of the rest of them, I think that on world class difficulty, you'll eventually find a groove and figure it out. I feel like squad battles is a game of chess. A lot of it is actually just strategical, being smart with your play, things like that, and I think that you'll probably find that as you go down the line, you'll find that squad battles becomes a bit easier, but Legendary, in my opinion, is a different gravy. I've played against Legendary a lot, and I rarely win, even with a God squad. I'm just not very good at this FIFA, I'll be honest with you. But in terms of the online one, I think the online one you can do pretty easily. Now, in terms of which icon to go for, let's use a thesis here that you've already got all 12 tokens from the last one. In my opinion, the best swaps to go for, I think Guardiola is a good swap to go for. This card will be usable in most teams for the next 2 or 3 months, in my opinion. Same with Roberto Carlos. This will be a great left back for a lot of people for months to come. Hernan Crespo will be a great striker for, I want to say 1 or 2 months maybe. There will be informs and things like that come out that people will get in reds that'll be better than Hernan Crespo. But for the short-term future, he's a great option to get, especially until the next icon swapped objectives come out. Now, I wouldn't go for any of these. Nesta, a lot of people like the look of Nesta. Now, don't get me wrong, he doesn't look horrendous, but 36 agility and 51 balance and terrible passing stats. I feel like, apart from short passing, of course, I feel like you will have to get the ball out of his feet instantly, whereas with my centre-backs, I like to hold the ball a little bit sometimes. I'm using VVD on the right. I like to pick the ball with VVD and then pick out a nice pass across the box. Kluivert is a decent option. Kluivert's agility and balance let him down a little bit, but I think that his finishing is fantastic. His composure lets him down a little bit as well, but he is quite tall and he's quite a big presence in the box. Closer, in my opinion, is not worth it. Doesn't fit the meta. Same with Balak. I think he's a bit too slow. He'll be a great all-round mid for most people, but I think that as a box-to-box, he's going to struggle a little bit. Pirlo, again, is a bit too slow, but I feel like Pirlo's got a different way of playing in this game. You pick the ball up with Pirlo, you try and do slow dribbling and then pull a great pass off to someone, as opposed to playing as a box-to-box and trying to run past people. I feel like, left stick dribbling, short and long passing, tiki-taka sort of play is better with Pirlo, and he's got 5-star skills, so I feel like he could be a decent option for 14 tokens. You got 10 left. You can go with a decent, like a Guardiola or someone like that with the rest of your tokens. Roy Keane, again, a bit slow. Same with Balak. Now, you can whack a shadow on either of them and it will probably be a little bit better. I feel like Roy Keane will be a better CDM if you have get in between the defenders as a instruction for him, because he will sit really far back and you'll just sit on the edge of the defense basically, and his reactions, his interceptions are phenomenal. Last year, really enjoyed him. His tackling's fantastic. His physical's fantastic. As a really deep CDM, he'll probably play really well. His aggression's really, really good as well. Whack a shadow on him and he'll probably be really good. Just don't play, like I said, the same with Balak. Don't play them as a box-to-box if you do want to unlock a Roy Keane. Rivaldo is actually really good in-game stats. 2-star weak foot lets him down a lot, but if you're confident you won't be going on to his right foot a lot, I'd actually go for this card. 4-star skills, he's 6'1", decent agility. His balance is all right, can be improved with an engine chem style. Good stamina, good strength. Great finishing, great shot power, great long shots, great composure, really good passing stats as well. I think this card's actually a really good card. I just think that the 2-star weak foot lets him down a lot, unfortunately. Ian Wright, I've personally used this card, didn't like him a lot at all. I will say that I didn't like this card. He wasn't like great. I think that EA set him up as a poacher, and he's just not really a poacher in this game. I don't think that's actually something that exists in this game. Rio Ferdinand looks incredibly meta. I actually haven't used this card yet this year, but he looks incredibly meta. Rui Costa again looks really, really good. Great dribbling, good pace, good shooting, good passing. Decent physical as well, like really good physical, 4-star, 4-star. If you're looking to get a high-end icon with high-end tokens, I'd go for this if you're looking for a cam that's going to last you a few months. Zanetti, a lot of people saying Zanetti's, he's going to last for so long. I think yes, but I actually see EA bringing out either a Zambrotta or a Carlos Alberto in the next set of icons. I would hold off going for Zanetti personally, because I think that he's just a bit too weak for this game. He's 5'10", 77 strength. I mean, it's not horrendous. Like, small plays are decent in this game. I just think that maybe he might be secondary to a Zambrotta or a Carlos Alberto, in my opinion. Of course, you guys have your own opinions. I'm not even going to talk about Hugo Sanchez because his composure lets him down. Base icon pack, you're an absolute nutter if you go for a base icon pack. This guy is incredibly meta this year. Fantastic player, the Butragono is. 3-star skills lets him down a little bit, but fantastic finishing, great dribbling, 5-star weak foot as well. He's absolutely phenomenal this year. Really enjoyed using him. Same with Gerrard. Gerrard's actually really good this year. He's a good box to box. He gets stuck in a lot. And if you're looking for a centre mid in a 4-1-2-1-2, for example, Gerrard will be a perfect solution for that. Hadji is a great cam as well. His dribbling's fantastic. His shooting's great. Decent pace. Great passing. The only thing that lets him down a little bit is his stamina, and I think sometimes he's just a little bit too small and weak. 5'8" with 60 strength. Sometimes gets absolutely barged off the ball by left backs and right backs. But apart from that, he's actually a good option in the middle, especially in a 4-1-2-1-2 narrow, or I don't know, like a 4-2-3-1 as a central cam. Michael Owen, I actually really enjoyed this card. He's got fantastic dribbling, good shooting, good pace. 3-star skills lets him down a little bit. Aside from that, he's a great, well-rounded striker and will work really well, for example, with a Heung-min Son up top or an Aubameyang up top. And then Didier Drogba. In my opinion, not worth it. I wouldn't go for the 24 tokens if I were you. Oh, sorry, 23 tokens if I were you. But, it's completely your choice. I just don't think it's personally worth it to go for this. But that's just my opinion. But they're my opinions on all of the icon swaps and how to get them quickly. If you guys have enjoyed the video, leave a like down below. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new around here. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you later.